Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lilith Astrology. My name is Adama, and this week I'm going to be talking to you guys about the moon through the signs. The moon sign is so important. I think a lot of the time we place such importance on the sun, but the moon is really your instinctual nature and who you are inside, and it's also who you are when you're with close loved ones, family, and friends who really know you. That's when you express your moon sign. And your moon sign can be completely different. Like, for instance, I'm a Leo moon and my sun sign is Scorpio, and they square each other and they're completely different people. So, who I am, my ego wise, and in terms of my life path, life purpose, is completely different from who I am emotionally and what I need from an emotional, instinctual standpoint. So it's very important to know your moon sign and to understand, um, what it is and how to tap into that energy. And it can also, the moon also represents the mother in the birth chart, and it can also represent your relationship with her, and how you related to her when you were growing up. And the moon sign is, especially for relationships, to me, and from my experience, the moon sign is way more important. That compatibility is so much more important than the sun. Like, you can have an Aquarius and a Capricorn sun, but if their moon is both in Pisces, they're going to get along very well. I mean, especially like if you're looking for a roommate, looking at their sun sign, that's not going to really help you. Look at their moon sign, because then you'll know how they are at home, and you know how they are beneath, all those surface level things. So understanding moon sign and comparing moon sign is very important when it comes to relationships. So I'm going to run down from Aries to Pisces, just what your moon sign means. So the first one, moon in Aries. This is an extremely fiery moon. For instance, Cardi B, I always use her as my moon in Aries example because she's like the quintessential moon in Aries. She is a Libra sun, but even though she's, a super nice balanced Libra, she has that fiery Aries moon. These people love adventure. These people have an independent, fierce spirit. They can be active people. Like, Aries is a very active sign, and all that fire energy needs to go somewhere, so they always need to be moving and doing things. Aries moon, their mother was kind of like, kind of domineering, and would be very, would discipline her children. You would kind of be afraid to cross her. She also might have gone through some difficult things in her life, and so you picked up on that fighter, aggressive, and warrior spirit, and you kind of have that within you. So even if you may be a Cancer sun, if you have a Aries moon, that fire is always going to be lit, and you will always be able to have the energy to move forward and be a leader. So all of that is within you. Plus of an Aries moon sign is you will always have that fire. You will always have that energy. Aries is a cardinal sign. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So you will always be, be a leader, and not have no problem with starting and initiating something and having that fire and that drive to get something done. But on the dark side, they can get a little bit. Moon and Aries can get very rage, and have resent. They can get filled with rage, I guess I should say. So it's the moon is emotion, so be careful of that. Like, fly off the handle, super aggressive feeling, and try to count to 10 and take some steps to assess the situation before jumping in head first, guns blazing. So that was Aries moon, and now onto moon in Taurus. So Taurus as a sign is all about self-worth, earned income, value. It also is beauty. Venus rules the sign of Taurus. So when you have your moon in this placement, you really have an emotional attachment when it comes to acquiring possessions or your income. You really want stability. Like, I think sometimes you can have a deep fear of not having enough resources, or, you know, that is something that is fulfilling to you emotionally. And so with the moon in Taurus, you may have, your mother may have nurtured you with, you know, spoiling you. Your parents, that was that dynamic, is like, you know, a reward for getting an A+ on a test was a brand new pair of nice shoes, or your mom would take you out to the movies and a nice dinner, or you'd go on shopping trips. Your mom, you know, may have helped provide for you financially, or that was something that was very important to her. So it's natural for you to feel that way about resources and have such an emotional connection to them. And when the moon is in Taurus, it is actually exalted. So this is a positive placement. It's different from when the moon is in its sign, like in Cancer. When the moon is exalted, it kind of gives like an extra punch to that planetary placement. It gives it a little more oomph and emphasis in a positive way in a person's chart. With the Taurus moon, sensuality is also a theme that comes into play. And these people really, they need stability. They love to, you know, they'll have a beautiful home and nice things around them, because emotionally that's what makes them feel comfortable. I think these people have an easy time getting assets and being able to manifest wealth and abundance in their life, depending on how the moon is aspected and what, you know, other planets it's you're working with there. But generally, these people have an easy time amassing material goods. These people also, a lot of the time, need to experience nature. Like, they need to be in nature. They need to, especially, like, say you live somewhere like I do in New York City, you need to have those breaks to have alone time in the mountains or go on a beach vacation and really be one with nature and feel more in your element. I think these people, this is a fixed sign. So we go from the cardinal sign of Aries, you know, initiator, go-getter, to Taurus, which is more of a fixed sign. So these people can be rigid and stuck in their ways, and not really be as changeable as some other signs may be in their mood. So if someone wronged them, they're going to have a hard time kind of getting unstuck from their opinion of that person. Or if they form an opinion about a topic, it's very difficult to sway and change a Taurus moon's mind. These people love going out to find dinners and shopping and really curating their home and making it a beautiful space for them to come back and relax in. A lot of Tauruses can be homebodies, so they really love to be at home and enjoy their space. They worked so hard to create. I would say, you know, this is a plus of these people, is they're very good at managing their resources depending on how the moon is aspected. They're very good at amassing resources and material abundance in their lives. But on a downside is they can tend to be a little more materialistic if they don't watch where they're placing their priorities and just value money and material objects over people. So that's a shadowy side to this placement. But generally, these people are all about sensuality and worth and creating material goods. So the moon in Gemini, the twins. Moon in Gemini, imagine if you inside have different personalities and you can be two different people. This is what these people go through. They are all about communication. The moon in Gemini can be very chatty and emotionally, like, good conversation and a good flow of ideas, and being able to bounce around from different topics and different ideas, and to be able to have variety is very, very important to these people, and this feeds them emotionally. If you have a moon in Gemini, potentially your mother was a talkative social butterfly and was, always out all the time, and you saw that, and so that dynamic is very comfortable to you. You have a changeable nature. Gemini is a mutable sign, so they can change opinion, really fast, and they may think one perspective one day, and then they may hear something, and someone communicated something to them, so then they completely change their perspective a second day. So, I mean, I think that sometimes could come off as two-faced, but in reality, no, they just change their mind. They're changeable people. So inside, you are having this internal dialogue about a multitude of topics. And I think in a relationship, Moon in Gemini really needs to have that variety and have that stimulation for them to not get bored. They really need to be able to move around and bounce around. I would say their strength is communication. Their strength is they will never run out of topics to talk about. And they're fascinating people to talk to because you'll just learn a lot from these people. And I would say a negative side is they can get bored very easily. And they can kind of jump around and not be as committal. And sometimes friendships or relationships could suffer because of that. But generally, these people are extremely smart. They can make good writers. They can make good communicators. Communications, I think, is a great field for somebody with a Gemini moon to go through, or creative writing, depending on where the moon is placed. Like if you have a moon in the 5th house, that makes for an excellent creative writer. So the moon in Cancer, the moon is in its sign in Cancer and is at home. The moon rules Cancer, and this is, so people with the moon in Cancer are inside, they're extremely sensitive and emotional people. The Cancer is the crab, and so out of to protect themselves, they're very private, closed off at first until you warm them up, and then you find out more about them. So people with moon in Cancer are no exception. If you have the moon in Cancer, your mother was probably the archetypal mother. Like she loved you, gave you love, was there for you, made dinner and breakfast, and shuttled you to school. She was just the mom's mom of all moms. So when you get that type of treatment when you're a child, you get so comfortable with this Cancerian energy. That's what you display at home, and that's what's familiar for you. So when you have this watery moon, just very sensitive people. People with this placement really need a lot of downtime. They need home time. They need time to recharge themselves. And to handle these emotions that they have inside of themselves, they have to have space. I think in a relationship, they really need someone nurturing and someone that can be around and really cater to them, and make them feel important and have concern for them on a daily basis. I think these people would make wonderful parents. These people understand love and how to nurture and give that love. The women can make amazing mothers. But I think on a downside, these people can get overprotective of themselves and can kind of close off and shut themselves away from the world. And they can also, become defensive and always kind of like have their guard up, and can be, paranoid that somebody is going to hurt them a lot. So I think, to nurture this moon is having a lot of downtime, making time for family and friends, and really being able to nurture those relationships, and that can help. The phrase home is where the heart is, and that is so true for people with the moon in Cancer. Not only do they need to be at home, from time to time to recharge, but this is where they are nurtured, and this is where they love and their loved ones are. They can be very close to the mother and close to the home, and really that's where they shine, and that's what feeds them emotionally. So I think having a stable home and familiar surroundings and familiar things is really the key for them. They just love remembering the past, and they love their family and need that closeness and familiarity a lot of the time. So the moon in Leo. Moon and Leo here. But this is a fun placement. So when the moon is in Leo, creative self-expression and fun and feeling appreciated. These are all things that are very important to the emotional needs of somebody with this placement. They can really, when they come into a room, even if they may be like, I'm a Cancer rising, you wouldn't characterize me as a Leo first off, but who they are on the inside, they do need that appreciation from an audience, and from, even if it's one person, they do need that verbal feedback about what they've presented and what they've done. Moon in Leo, as far as the mother, she may have been, an artist, or she may have been a musician, and really was into creativity herself. So that rubbed off on you. And she may have been, the glamour queen, or, always was dressed really nicely and life of the party and just an all-around fun person to be around. So somebody with this placement can then in turn exhibit energy like that as well. These people could make great actors. They can make, musician, or any of the creative arts, any way that they can express themselves and have an audience that will then appreciate that expression and reflect back that appreciation to help feed them. These people, very creative and driven people in that regard. I would say the negative side to this placement is they can get egotistical, especially if they are very good at those expressive fields that they go into. So these people on the downside can, they can become insecure and just rely on other people's appreciation and acceptance to help increase their, self-worth and who they are. And they really shouldn't rely on that. They should rely on themselves and be confident within themselves. But that can be a downside. And a Leo moon home can be, I think similar to Taurus moon in regard that they care about the aesthetic of their home and want it to be beautiful and want to impress people. When they want people to be impressed when they come over to their home. So Leo moons can really have beautiful places to live. And another thing about Leo moons, which you guys probably notice, the hair, they really are. I think honestly, even more than Leo sun, Leo moons really care deeply about their hair and their appearance. So they definitely take care of themselves, and that's a priority in their life as well. So the moon in Virgo. Virgo is this ruled by Mercury, and Virgo is a very meticulous, perfectionist, detail-oriented sign. It's all about service and duty, serving others. What can you do to help others? And these people are very work-oriented, but not in work like Capricorn with achievement and awards, but work as in like your everyday daily duties and the daily grind. So these people, mooning in Virgo, they may be a fun-loving Leo, for instance, but if you have a moon in Virgo, these people are very work-oriented and extremely detailed. Like, their attention to detail is impeccable. I think, these are the types of people that you want to have on your team at work, because they will not miss a mistake. Like, they will see it glaring very easily. These people are very grounded and practical. They believe that, through hard work every day, that's how they're going to progress further with their career. Moon in Virgo people, they could do very well in logical fields of work. And I think that would help feed their souls. And, for instance, accounting or planning or operations. I think they could make great surgeons or doctors, because they have that meticulous eye and are able to pick up detailed information fast and be able to perform a job extremely well. These people, their mother may have been I don't want to say, I guess the right word is very opinionated when it comes to other people, and she believed that her way was the right way. Virgos can have the ability to, like, their way of nurturing someone is giving them feedback and telling them things that they could do better later on. To them, that is like the ultimate form of nurturing, and that's what their mother may have done to them or does to other people. So that's like normalized for them, and can really that's how they show emotional affection, and that's what resonates with them emotionally. Like, their mother may have been out in a public place and saw another parent parenting, and then walk up to them and say, like, you really should do this instead. Just something, I think, along the lines of that is kind of what I'm trying to get at. And these people can find joy in the day-to-day life, and organizing things. They're great organizers. It could be great leaders, because they're able to structure and organize things in a meticulous way. And project manager, I think they could be great at. I think on some shadow sides to Virgo is over criticism, or criticizing themselves and not feeling perfect enough and good enough, and having that kind of also go on to other people. So, maybe giving advice when it wasn't solicited or asked for, and that kind of could turn other people off. So I think it's just like good to be aware of that, and understanding that that's, a dark side to this placement. So the moon in Libra, I would say, so, Libra is ruled by Venus. It's the planet of love and beauty and relationships. So when the moon is in this sign, relationships and being surrounded by beauty and these are all very important things to a Libra moon, and how this person is fed. They need a partner. They need someone else there to share their life with. And they're another moon sign that would have a beautiful home and care about the aesthetic of their home. They care about the other people. They're empathetic in the sense that they want people to generally like them, and they don't want to rock the boat. The scales is their symbol, so keep maintaining balance and maintaining peace in the home is very important to these people. Peace is extremely, that's what they love, that's what they need. They don't like conflict. I would say Libra as well as Cancer are the least confrontational out of all the signs, solely because they don't want to rock the boat and call attention to themselves in a negative light. They want to be seen in a positive light. These people are generally they're nice people, and they are easy to be around because they want to please others, and really want others to have a positive experience when they are in a Libra moon's presence. So these people, they can make great visual artists. They can, you know, they could work in marketing and just have great taste and understand what people like and know what people want aesthetically. They could work in beauty, like as a makeup artist or a hairdresser. Because these types of things come natural to them, like manifesting and creating beauty comes natural to them. I would say on the dark side of this sign, they can be too overly people pleasing and kind of, you know, people could kind of walk all over them, or they may not be able to assert themselves, and kind of just, you know, be seen as a doormat and someone that won't stick up for themselves. So I think it's, you know, it's good to be careful about this, and also only surround yourself, if you're a Libra moon, surround yourself with good people, good natured people who care about you and won't take advantage of your good nature. I think Libra moons always, they have like a great relationship with their mother. I think, you know, since balance and peace and beauty are important to these people, the relationship with your mother was a peaceful one, and you really, you know, she may have been aesthetically beautiful. She may have dressed really nicely and been someone that you emulate and look to. And, you know, your parents' relationship may have been very balanced, and, you know, they could still be together after so many years. They had strength in their relationship. So, you know, you had a positive experience with your mother. So it's important for you to experience a balanced and healthy relationship as well in your life. So when the moon is in Scorpio, it is actually in its fall, which is different than when it's in its detriment, like in Capricorn. And it's not as benefic when it's exalted, like in Taurus or in its own sign in Cancer. So essentially, when a planet is in its fall in a certain sign, it kind of gives a little bit more of difficulty with expressing it fully, and you'll kind of feel like there's a lot of lessons about this area of your life, or it's just a little bit more difficult than someone else who has it placed, say, in Taurus and it's in its exaltation. So essentially, the moon in Scorpio, when you think of Scorpio, Scorpio is such an intense, deep, private, and probing sign, and can have it's an extremely deep emotional nature. So when you have all of that inside, and say, you know, you are a Libra rising or you are a Gemini sun, that can be very difficult to help channel all of this intense underlying feelings and energy in a healthy way. A lot of the time, moon and Scorpios, you know, they're not a Scorpio sun, so they can keep a lot of those intense feelings and emotions just bottled up, and that can kind of manifest itself in negative ways. They can be prone to anxiety, depression. They can be prone to, you know, sometimes it can manifest itself in illness and issues in that regard, because of bottling up these emotions and not being able to speak your truth and speak out loud and be honest with people, because you're afraid of these emotions, because they are extremely intense. I think people with the moon in Scorpio, their relationship with their mother could have been extremely deep. There may have been some disagreement or some difficulty in certain aspects of the relationship. Your mother, you know, you and your mother may have had an intense emotional bond. So it either could have been a difficult relationship for you, or just something karmic in your relationship that you have to work through, or it could just be the fact that you wouldn't, you know, share with her your intense, you know, deepest emotions and secrets, and she was someone who could be there for you in an extreme emotional way. I think people with this placement are extremely intuitive. As I've mentioned in previous videos, you know, the Scorpio as a sign is the most psychic out of all of the signs. The water signs in general, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, are extremely intuitive and psychic, but I would say Scorpio, it's very extreme, so you guys can really kind of know what's going on without anyone having to tell you, and you're very in tune to picking up information, and you see patterns, kind of like a Scorpio sun. You see patterns with people, and you're just an extremely private person. Like, you know, you may be a Leo rising and just, you know, be outgoing, life of the party, but when it comes down to it, there's people don't really know who you are, because there are some things that you keep private, and you know, only your closest confidants and family know you on that level. So these people can not have two personalities like a Gemini moon, but these people can be very private about things that they really care about. And even with their emotions, like as I said earlier, they can bottle up these intense emotions because they don't know how to channel them in a healthy way. And I really think like something like meditation, and, you know, kind of like with Cancer moon, taking time out to yourself to work through your emotions and recharge and fully, you know, honor yourself, is a great way to not only channel this energy in a healthy way, but you're not running from these deep feelings. You are honoring them and working through them and understanding them and becoming aware of them through practices like this. So Sagittarius moon, this is you know, the eternal optimist. This is someone who loves learning about other cultures, loves traveling and expanding their mind, expanding their perspective. This is somebody, you know, they're the type of person who if something bad happens to them on a day, they're the first ones to be like, oh, it'll get better, or, you know, this happened and it's in the past and now I need to move forward, and, you know, I don't even think about it anymore. They always have optimistic thoughts, so if they start something new, you know, there's no reason why that they couldn't be successful, and they're fun-loving people. You know, there's a lot of positives, I think, to it. I mean, Sagittarius, it's ruled by Jupiter. It's a planet of luck and expansion, and growth. So having your emotions there, these people can also, they not only think that they're lucky and have that optimism, but they, you know, ultimately are. I mean, the mind is a powerful thing, and I just think it's very interesting how Sagittarians, people with prominent Sagittarius placements, I mean, they're like the walking poster children for the law of attraction, and that positive thoughts get positive results. So that's really the essence of the moon in Sagittarius. These people's mother, you know, she may have been she was not a domineering type. She let the child have the freedom to roam and to, you know, find themselves and see the world and express themselves. She let them have the room to do all those things, and that's why they're so comfortable with this energy. Their mom was probably, you know, very playful, probably similar to a Leo moon mom, but just like very playful, you know, optimistic herself, and just, you know, pleasant to be around. And, you know, your mother, you know, she may have been just an inquisitive person, and you picked up on, you know, that she could, you know, find out things about a topic and spend time researching and reading and fully understanding something before forming an opinion. So that's something you respected about her. So you've taken on those traits yourself as well. You know, Moon in Sagittarius, it's a fiery placement, just like Aries and Leo. So you can have a lot of drive in starting initiatives. This is a mutable sign, so these people are very flexible. They, you know, once they form an opinion, you know, if they do research and find out that they were wrong, they have no problem admitting that they were wrong, and kind of changing their opinion. These people they're not stubborn at all, and they take other people's, you know, ideas and thoughts into account. And, you know, learning is just extremely important for them. These people could make great teachers, professors, you know, people that spread knowledge, and use their life experience to teach others. These people have no problem being honest, telling someone how they feel. And I think, you know, this is a very positive attribute to have. But at the same time, I think sometimes Sagittarius can blurt things out, and Sagittarius moons, and the tact isn't there. Like, I think they mean well and they want to speak their mind and they have to. Like, that is second nature to them. But sometimes it's like there's a time and place for certain things, and sometimes they may lose sight of that. So I think that's one downside, is like, you know, they may blurt something out that wasn't really meant to be said, or they could have waited till a different time to say it. So it's like understanding like the time and place factor, I think is important with them. You know, with the moon in Sagittarius, like, they have a deep emotional need for freedom. You know, they want to be in a relationship, they want to be with someone, but they really don't want to feel tied down, and they really want to feel that they can roam and have adventures and do what they need to do to feel fulfilled emotionally, and their partner will understand that and not make them feel trapped. So I think that's a very important thing for Sagittarius moons as well. So the moon in Capricorn. So when the moon is in Capricorn, actually, it is in its detriment. So kind of like I explained with the moon in Scorpio, the moon is not comfortable. The moon ruled by Cancer, it's actually in its opposite sign. So it's going to take a little bit of effort to, you know, for the moon to function in a sign like Capricorn. And, you know, Capricorn is not really a nurturing energy. It's more about hard work, ambition, lessons. And so people with the moon in Capricorn, what emotionally feeds them and what is comfort for them is structure, hard work. These people's mother may have been, you know, was authority in the home. These people need stability. You know, when they come home, they need structure. You know, their home may be set up in a way that makes them, you know, comfortable to be there and to maximize their time. You know, you may work from home or have comfort in working from home if you are a moon in Capricorn. And they're more traditional, I would say, in terms of roles in the home. These people, you know, they like alone time. They like to have time to themselves. They love work and working hard, and really manifesting and materializing their goals and making them a reality. Capricorn is a cardinal sign, so these people have no problem initiating something, and taking charge and really being a leader and driving ahead. These people, they're not the mushy-gushy, touchy-feely type of people. I think they feel nurtured when, you know, their structure and things are defined and laid out, and really easy for them to conceptualize. And, you know, in your free time, you always have like you may have a full-time job, but you always have a lot of little side projects going. You are always, you know, you have a goal in progress. These people really are You know, they're ruled by Saturn, so I think along with not being super touchy-feely, and I think it's kind of like Scorpio in a way that quality is better than quantity, and it takes some time to kind of get past the hard exterior or hard emotion of a Capricorn moon. You know, Capricorns like to have control and really feel that there's structure and definition. So I think on the downside, while these people have a lot of ambition and drive and are leaders and are the initiators, you know, they want to kind of try to monitor, like they need to have control over a you know, relationship or their emotions or situation. I think that's why, you know, they can be seen as cold sometimes because they want to have control over their emotions and not like let their emotions get the best of them. And they're also rational thinkers as well. But you know, these people are not only very ambitious, but they're extremely loyal. As I've said, it takes time to fully get to know a Capricorn moon for them to let you into their private world. So I think, you know, these people, they're steadfast and loyal. I think that's why this is a great match for a sign like Scorpio, because they're stable, loyal, and honest people. But you know, their way of nurturing and how they feel nurtured is through hard work and structure and stability. So the moon in Aquarius, these are extremely independent people, free thinkers, very, you know, they have a lot of ingenuity and creativity, and they really march to be their own drummer. These people make great friends. Aquarius rules the 11th house of friends and networks. It's also ruled by the planet Uranus, which rules the internet and large, you know, networks of people with loose connections. And these people extremely care about their friends. They care about the collective and they care about people. They are the type of people that would most likely give to charity a lot easier. They nurture the collective. It's very important to remember about Aquarius. A lot of people think they're not nurturing people. Like, you know, for instance, Cancer can be described as a very nurturing sign, but that nurturing goes on one-on-one. With Aquarius, it's nurturing the whole collective. So they're a lot easier nurturing big groups of people versus having to concentrate one-on-one on one person. And they're very free-spirited. The worst thing you can do is try to pin down a moon in Aquarius. These people really value groups and they value group thinking and they value ascending humanity to a higher level. And these are the type of people that you could see being like, you know, inventors or doing something completely original that ascends humanity, like coming up with different inventions and ideas. You know, it's much like the Aquarius sun, but these are people that really feel it inside. For example, my mom is an Aquarius moon, and she's a scientist. So these types of people really gravitate towards those sides of life, and they have very abstract ways of thinking, and they feel emotionally complete when, you know, they are able to nurture multiple people versus having to concentrate on one person. And with an Aquarius moon, you know, your mother, your relationship with her may have been, she treated you like a little adult. It was more of a Saturnian. Saturn also rules the sign of Aquarius in addition to Uranus. And, you know, may have been a very structured, but also adult type of relationship. Like, she didn't baby you. She didn't treat you like you weren't equal and one of the adults. She was the type to treat you as if you were a little adult. And so through that nurturing, you came to kind of act older than your age, I would say, Aquarius. And they're always like 2 steps ahead of other signs. So we're up to the last moon sign of the zodiac, Pisces. These people are extremely empathetic, romantic, charitable, generally like the bleeding hearts of all the moon sign. You may even be a Gemini sun, but if you have a Pisces moon, you really have that watery element to your birth chart. And these people can just enter into relationships and into situations with rose-colored glasses and really romanticize and really like immerse themselves deeply in that situation, which can also, it can be a plus, but it can be a minus. They're ruled by the planet Neptune, which is, you know, fantasy and romance and things of not of this realm. So that is, if that's ruling your moon, your emotional nature is very deep. And these people always feel the need to give to other people, and be there for other people and serve other people. And I think that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful part of this sign. I think your mother may have been, you know, a very self-sacrificing person. She may have really made sure you were well taken care of, and put you first in front of herself. And she was just, you know, Pisces is such a beautiful sign. You know, the amazing thing about Pisces is that it's the culmination of all 12 signs before you. This is like the last sign before spirituality and before the other realms. So, you know, you really are in touch with your spiritual side. Even if you may not be religious, you are still in touch with that part of your life, and you are still, I mean, Pisces may be atheist, but they still somehow deep down know that there may be something beyond this world, and there may be something that exists. And people with the moon in Pisces have an extremely insane imagination. They can be very creative and artistic people. You know, having this moon and this being your mind and your creative center, you can pull from different realms. Just ideas just come to you a lot easier in different colors and imagination and thoughts. These people not only are extremely imaginative and creative, but extremely sensitive. I feel like I can't say it enough. Even though, you know, you may be a Capricorn rising, Capricorn sun, or you may be a Scorpio rising, like you may have a hard, you know, exterior. These people are mushy gushy on the inside, and they just want to be taken care of, and they want that special person, and they want to be loved. So, you know, Pisces moon it's a very sweet placement, and people with this placement just have to be careful of people taking advantage of their good nature. I said this in the Pisces sun sign video, just watching out for people taking advantage, but I would say the same for a Pisces moon, because you guys are just extremely nice and empathetic and charitable and imaginative people. So, you know, we all should be grateful to have moon in Pisces in the world, and I think you guys have a lot to offer to the world.